Hello, excuse me. Hello, this is David Birch at Star Path School of Navigation in Seattle with the third and hopefully last video on this file transfer technique that we've sort of discovered by accident, but probably well known to those who know it well. And there's two videos on that, and there's an article, and there's a new article here which is a subject here of what I'm talking about right in this video, and that's just moving files around on the iPhone and the iPad. It turns out that this process of using a local network that you create yourself with several devices, and we showed then you can do this with a $20 Amazon router called a Hutu router. Or with an Iridium Go unit. There's various ways to set up your own personal network on the boat. And so this will work out in the middle of the ocean, no internet whatsoever, and then you can wirelessly transfer files amongst all of your devices on the boat. And it's pretty slick. But it turns out that the key issue it boiled down to was how you move the files on the phone itself. If you're just moving things from computer to computer, then that is really easy with this method, as shown in the earlier two videos. You just end up with a sort of a web page, an IP address that you go to on your browsers on all your devices, and there sits a list of files you're sharing. It's as simple as that. But it gets more complicated then when you want to share in and out of, say, an iPhone or an Android phone. And I'm showing this for the iPhone. It turns out this is all a lot easier on an Android phone, and there are similar apps. So the question is, so let me just get started here. And then I made some notes here. One of the key functions, so here's the phone. I'm gonna click here and open this up and then go to this app. This is called the Files app. Now it's a standard, it's a stock Apple app, but and I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it comes with the iOS. When you load the iOS, it's part of their stock apps that come with it, standard apps. However, unlike a lot of the standard apps, you can delete it. You can delete this file. You can delete this app out of your phone. And then if you do that, then you just go back to the App Store and download it again. It's very simple. And these are just these are two, again, free apps that facilitate the transfer of the files. But what we need to do is each of these, for example, if I click this here, I'm going to click this transfer app here, over here, and so it has this screen, and I'm not going into much detail about this because we have this elsewhere, but what we have to do is get the files that we want to transfer to a PC into this folder. So that's one of the issues, and the other one is here, and this one is actually a little bit different because this is the Hutu. This is the field we need to put the files, but this is actually a direct view of a USB thumb drive, a memory stick that's plugged into this little Hutu, this $20 Hutu router, and that's described in the other videos. But that's another place. So then here is, then let me back up. I did it without showing. Now I'm clicking this button here. This is the Files app, and so this is what it shows when you download the Files app. So it gives you access to those files you have stored on the iCloud or the Microsoft OneDrive, or there's a Google Cloud. There's all sorts of external cloud links that you could have on here, right? But none of those matter for what we're doing because you have to have internet access to get to any of those. What we're looking at is just files that are stored on your phone. So I'm going to click this guy. And then what you see at that point are the I keep getting mixed up. I can't do anything with the mouse here. I have to just point here, then go over to the phone and do something on the phone. Okay? So, but these Oh, what did I do? Okay. Oh, I also, just a minute, let me get this thing back. This is a little tricky getting all this working at once. Okay, so what these are the various apps on the phone, on my phone here, that provide within their space on the phone, within their sandbox or whatever, their file, sub-file, virtual disk or whatever. These are the apps that have provided a special place to store data. Now, they're also totally fluid. For example, it doesn't matter. I can use this one from LuckGrib to do things for Firefox, or I can store things in the Nook. You have access to all of these folders. Now, some of them will move things in and out, and they'll assume you're going to go in and out of their folder, but you can actually use them. Let's see what I've got here. For the LuckGrib, I've got a bunch of files in there. Let's see. None of those happen to have anything to do with LuckGrib. Okay, ones I've been playing with. In the Nook, this is actually a GPX file, which I'm going to show you that again. So these folders are folders on the phone that you can use for various things, and that's what I want to show or discuss. So so the examples that I wanted to do. Well, let me just here's a note, a comment. The iPhone, this is all you get to see. If an app decides it's going to give you one of these folders to play with, you can do that. But the app will probably store the key files and its own things somewhere else. This is just a little holding tank that it gives you to store files that may be useful to you. Their main files are hidden away. And in an iPhone iApp, you cannot see any of the root files unless you jailbreak the device, the phone. You don't want to do that. So you can't see any of those things. But what I want to point out on the Android phone, in an Android phone, you can see everything. You can go right down and look at a file manager and see everything. For example, some apps don't use these, but for example, EPUB, a Kindle or an iBooks. Now they use files, and you download those files, but they store them in their own library. They have a directory that they call their library, and you see those files are there, but you can't see them, you can't access them. In the same Kindle app, no, they don't have iBooks on Android, but a Kindle app or Adobe Digital Editions or any kind of other ebook reader, on an Android, you can go right in there and see those files. You can move them around. You can pick them up, send them somewhere. Now, they're all kind of coded. They're, copy protected and coded to only work on authorized devices, but you have access to all the directory structure. You don't on an iPhone. So anyway, here's examples I wanted to look at, just to get a little bit of experience on moving things around, because you can't use this trick of a local network to shift files around on your boat unless you get used to moving them on an iPhone. So let's look at this, and I want to do just these 4 examples. So I'm going to look at a grib file. Let's say I got it. Now, LuckGrib has its own import a LuckGrib file as an email attachment. Now, if you're using the program of LuckGrib, you would certainly download the files with their system. But for some reason, you may have ordered a file or a subscription to a file, so it comes every day at 12 o'clock or something. You may have done that. So here's an example where I've asked, this is subscribe. That means I've asked SailDocs to send me this Oscar occurrence file every day. Well, turns out this one's only every 5 days new, but anyway, so here's that file, and at the bottom of it is right here is the data. Now, what am I going to do with that? Okay, so you just put a long press on it, and then it'll pop up, and now here's what your options are. if I'm looking at, oh, what did I do? I didn't want to do that. I have no idea what you make. Save that to notes. Let me get rid of that. Cancel. A long hold on that. This pops up. Now, you see, I can, with this, oh, wow. This has been a really hard video to make. Okay, let me hold this thing again. Okay. Now, these are the places where you could just, like there's LuckGrib. If I clicked it here, if I click this will just immediately open that file, the file I got into the LuckGrib viewer. Here's another, this is another, it's a routing program, Avalon Offshore, and then Predict Wind. So there are all the places that will actually read, these back here will read GRIB files. But now this, if I push this button right here, let me go back and show you. So if I push this one, I push the LuckGrib, that opens LuckGrib and opens, see there's that OSCAR Currents right there. Okay, so let me go back out of there, go to the mail. I'm pressing and holding that. Now I'm going to go up here and go to here, this one right here. Click. Now that one, that's the, okay, so OSCAR, there's the one I just downloaded right there. And then that file, once it's sitting in this location, I can send this to, I can use this app as described in the other videos. I can send it to PCs, I can send it to Macs, I can send it to Android phones or other Apple devices and so forth. So I've done the hard part. I've got this file ready to start sharing it everywhere. Okay, that's that point. Now transfer, let's see, transfer a LuckGrib file, transfer app, so it could, oh, okay, so I did that. Transfer a LuckGrib file. Oh, okay, no, I know what that means. So let's go back to here. I'm in LuckGrib. This is slightly different, but this is what motivated me, the whole thing, because LuckGrib has such a powerful resource of GRIB files. I mean, more than, it's the largest, most diverse source of high resolution and GRIB file data of any device in the world, but you may want to take files out of here and then move them into, say, Expedition for routing analysis and so forth. So this is what motivated the whole study, which discovered this method. So now, once I'm here, I can click this list up here. Then I see weather files here. I click this one here, and now I can take one of these, like the Chicago data here, and I slide it to the left, and then it says share. Okay, share. Now, as soon as it says share, I'm back to all the places I was. But I could move it to, oh, it's interesting. It's interesting. Some of the, okay, I don't want to sit here being interested in any of this, but some of the files that are capable of viewing a GRIB file didn't show up. So, but that's interesting. That's what I want to do. So now I could either move it to here to go directly ready to go someplace else, or I could save it to the files. You see, if I press this button down here, I save it to the files. Oh, okay, then I choose where. And let's say, well, let's say I choose, well, no, just for the heck of it, let me just choose, let me say I'm putting it in Firefox. I'm going to put it in Firefox. Add. And then I hit add up here. Add. Oh, okay. So that's done. And presumably if I go back now, let me see to here. I'll go here and then go to Firefox. See, there it is. There's the file I moved there. Now, at this point, I can't, this is here, I can't ship this anywhere else. If I want to take this file, and I just stored it here. I took it out of the LuckGrib where I downloaded it, and then I stored it here. Now, they store them over there, but eventually you want to have some control over this because these files are going to pile up. And so this is here. So here then, if I want to then move this to the PC, then what do I do? No, that's a delete. Oh no, okay, here's what you do. You hit select, bang, then you select it, then you come down here in the corner and you share it. Once it's shared, you go over and you put it in one of your two this is optional. This is a transfer file here. You put it here. Okay, so that's that one. Now let me just show one other thing. Two more things, and just one real quick. So I'm going to take a Bad Elf GPX track, and let's say I've got a route or a track I followed on one GPS unit. I have a track I made, and I want to load that track on my phone into a different GPS program like this. Now so that's all doable, but you have to think through these routes. So then what I do is I go back to find, let me just find here. Oh, that's not what I want to do. I want to go find Bad Elf. Okay, here's Bad Elf. Why isn't that working? Oh, okay, there's Bad Elf. And then 17 trips. And so let's just say I've got this top one, Monday evening run. These are probably this is a pretty phenomenal Bluetooth GPS. I'll just let it go for that. It deserves a whole movie to explain what a great thing this is. It's not only a very excellent Bluetooth GPS, but it's also a data logger. So you can just put this little thing in your pocket, go for a hike, come home, and then move it on to Google Earth or whatever, OpenCPN. All right, so I'm going to take this track up here. Let's see edit. Whoa, back, edit. And I click that one, and then down here I've got a share. So I say share, and now, but you see when it's sharing here, it's not letting me move it directly into. Okay, I'm a GPX file. I chose GPX file. Now, let's see if I can go straight into Motion X. Yeah, so it looks like, let me try that. I can go straight into Motion X. Yeah, and so there, it imported it into Motion X. Now, I'm going to let that go, and you can play with that. Motion X, this is not free. This Bluetooth, this app for Bad Elf GPX, it's a GPS. The files are GPX, but the GPS, that is a Bluetooth unit. It's about $150. Really quite remarkable device. Motion X GPS is a e-chart navigation program, actually made by a rather famous racing sailor, Philippe Kahn, but this one is. It's free. Really remarkable program. Okay, that's enough of that. Now here, take a screen. The last thing I'm going to do with this file sharing or exercises with the file sharing is take a screen cap or cell phone and send it to the transfer app. So this, I think, may be an interesting case. Well, here, let me see if I can do this. That's my, whoops, what did I do? I could take a picture, or I can just, okay, I took a screen capture. Now I'm going to take that screen capture, and I want to use this button here, share it. Now you see where my options to share that are not very many, right? I don't have any. What's more do? Okay, so more is just opening up it's a little tricky. It's just opening up the Files app, right? You see, when I put more, it does that. Or I can say, again, I've got this picture here, and what I'm going to do is save to files. Save to files. Now it's going to open that same image, right? And I can still put it in, say, Firefox, add. Okay. So now when I go back to... see, how do I get rid of, done. Delete the screenshot. There. Done. No, on my phone. Oh, wait a minute. What's going on? Oh, this is really tedious. Hang on just a minute. Files. Cancel. Cancel. On my phone. Firefox. There's the image. That's the screen image I just did right there. Okay, that's done. Okay, that's what I wanted to show. It takes a little bit of practice, but the idea of in preparation for using wireless transfer of your files, any kind of file, to prepare for the wireless transfer of those, you have to first be comfortable just getting them organized and moved around on the phone itself. That's the end of this. It's been a difficult video, this strange thing. Okay.